Hello everyone, welcome back to the next episode of the Eyes Test, our Rayo Vallecano FM23 save. And as you can see, it's been a complete disaster at the start of the season, for one very important reason, and I'll show you that in a second. But let's just pretend this didn't happen. Yeah, hi guys, it's Matt here with the next episode. I think this has been 7 days straight. I think it's probably the most I've ever done. But you will see it's not gone well at all at the start of the season. This game against Madrid, I ended up walking away from the computer, to be completely honest with you. It was just... We just couldn't do anything. I tried. I mean, you can see like 10, 18, 20. After the third went in, I literally just let it play. There was no point at that stage. But I think the issue we've had is that I've always done this, and it's in terms of producing fixtures, the friendlies, I've always had my assistant manager picking the friendly games. Always done it, always will do. Backroom staff to arrange friendly matches for the first team. I'm going to tick and retick that. I've always had that. It's never not been there. I don't know what the problem was. But you will see from the schedule that we only had one pre-season game against Getafe. I didn't realise. I was in the background just sort of doing transfers and looking at tactics and whatnot, and I didn't realise that had actually happened. So yeah, we are grossly underprepared for the season. I think if you look at the squad and we look at sort of the condition and the sharpness, it's only really like the first 11, like the starting players who've got any sort of sharpness, and the rest of it is low. Yeah, we a big oversight. But I did mention in the last video that the same thing was happening with the B team, where they weren't getting any fixtures generated. But then, stupidly, I've got rid of everyone from the B team, and all of a sudden they're getting fixtures generated left, right and centre. So I don't know if there's a glitch or some sort of issue. It is what it is. It means I can use the B team a little bit more now than I was doing last season. But yeah, it's a bit of a ball ache, to be honest with you. So where does that leave us? That does leave us rock bottom of the table with a minus 18 goal difference, and we have got a game against Sevilla coming up in 2 weeks' time. We will be live comming that game. Yay, another live com. There's been some okay performances, oddly enough. If I show you the average ratings, I said a few. Jorge de Frutos, he did score against Madrid, but it was ruled offside, which is really annoying. He's performed quite well. Demario Gray's performed quite well. John Pacheco's performed quite well, although it was only a substitute appearance. Radunovic, again, quite average. Ivan Ramos come off the bench. He came on really early against Real Madrid, and he did quite well. It's really annoying, particularly because we sent fucking Baldini out on loan and he scored 2 goals in his debut, and Camelo's not found the net once so far this season. So yeah, classic me. We did lose Jota to an early injury. He is just on his way back, so we'll give him some general rehab training. I think that didn't help, obviously losing Jota early on. He went off really early in the first game, as did Roman Zobnin, and this was the ball ache. Roman Zobnin is out for 3 months. He is our absolute start, one of our starting midfielders, whether it's a deep position or a little bit higher up the pitch, it doesn't matter. Roman Zobnin is the number one starter in midfield. So our midfield's a little bit light. You'll see that, although I did speak about him in the last video, we actually have been playing 2 starts, 1 substitute appearance for Hugo Uranga. Again, it's not really fair on him. He's not ready, but he will be eventually. He's just not ready yet. It's really frustrated me, but I need to play him a little bit more. He did start the game against Real Madrid, bless him, and he missed a golden opportunity. That's one thing I do want to talk about. Is I don't feel like the tactic is wrong. I feel like because we've had a lack of preparation, a lack of fitness, and also the dynamics, the team cohesion is going to be really poor because we didn't have enough matches under our belts in pre-season. I feel like that's what the issue has been. So yeah, as I say, I think the tactics are okay. I'm not going to panic too much. I think if we look at, if we can find our team data, we look at the shots, and I look at the XG. Give me a second. So if you look at the overall data, I think we're performing well below. Obviously, we've lost 3 games in the bounce. We find the target with a high ratio of shots compared to average, and that's encouraging. It means we're making the chances. We're just being blown away. We're conceding a lot more. So pass completion's not too high, not too low. It's 3.47 lower, but our shots on target ratio per 90 is a lot higher, and we're also getting 8 shots off per game. Our XG against per game is 2.7. That's where we need to look into it more. And then if we look at our defending, we are conceding on average 5 per game. Obviously, we conceded 3, and then we conceded 9, so it's equaled out. A lot of clearances made per game, a lot of blocks, and a lot of tackles attempted. So we are still getting in around the opposition. We are still challenging, just maybe not to the quality we were last season. But I think the problem we've got is obviously with the forwards. They're putting Baldini in there for some bizarre reason. But I think the problem we've got so far is, you look, we're running with the ball well, they're good in the air. But then if you look at the XG table, our XG is 1.9, XG against is 8.1. It's an anomaly. Madrid scored 9. It's an anomaly. It shouldn't be that high. Our expected points is 1.4. We obviously don't have any. So we need to address it. I think hopefully there's a bit more cohesion in the team. I've adapted the training to do a lot of like the extracurricular stuff, just to get a little bit more. We do at the minute have Colo Torre set in it. I know a lot of people don't like that. We do. I think that's the only way we're going to get a little bit better, is by focusing on things like that in training. So, focusing on training, and then again using the idea of the eyes test, as the whole point of this series is. And what I'm finding, or what I have found at the moment, and what I'm struggling with, is the performances of some key players. Espino and Oxford have been terrible. I know it's easy to say because we've conceded a lot of goals, but even if we were to look into like their actual key metrics, they've not done an awful lot. Michael Forrestino is a good player. I like him. Whether he is actually a Mezzala, I don't know. I don't feel as though he's like technical enough for that, whereas Jota is very technical. So I'm thinking of playing that pivot of the central midfield attack, and then obviously Jota as the Mezzala on attack when he comes back, and using that again because that worked really well between Kike and Jota. And then Kevin and Durham, I do still quite like him. Maybe just not kicked off where we'd like him to. What the coaches say about him is that he's very consistent and he enjoys big matches. You know, he's a very professional player. He's good with his teamwork. You know, I don't know whether it's because his position is quite low, but the problem is that we actually sold a few players who can play in that position. So with the injury to Zobnin, he's pretty much the starter. So yeah, then that brings us round to the next thing about the transfers out that you wouldn't have seen. Obviously, one of them was Suleiman Mara. He went across to Al Weda in Saudi League. I'm eating a bit of regretty spaghetti right now. Probably shouldn't have sold them, but I couldn't have anticipated for Zobnin getting a 3-month injury in the first game of the season. But yeah, a few outs. Obviously, we did mention Abdul Mumin. The idea being the eyes test. I didn't like Abdul Mumin. He just didn't really suit. Although attribute-wise, he suited what I wanted. But when he was playing in the game, I didn't like him. And then the odd loan move here and there. We've got Arvin Lara, one of the youth players, gone out on loan. Mohamed Baldini out on loan. Danny Lorenzo was sent out on loan to a third-tier team. I think purely because he's a bit older than Ivan Ramos and he didn't have that impact in the first team that Ivan Ramos has managed to have so far. I think he just needs a lot of game time. You can see his attributes have gone up a little bit more off that anyway. And yeah, losing a player like Alvaro Garcia, I didn't want to, but 5 million up front for him, I couldn't really turn down. Financially, we are in ruins again. We basically get like the TV money and the league money coming in, and sort of the pot that La Liga give us, and then we've got nothing for a little while. So I wasn't happy with that really. But we did also get rid of Alan Neon. Again, another sort of leader, strong mentality, quite a good player, but the option to bring Trilly in on loan from Barcelona was there, so we did that. I think, him and Estevez, we've got 2 young fullbacks there. We'd also have Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who can cover it right back, and that might be an option that we explore. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the business overall. Obviously, you've seen Forrestino and Zoblin in the last video. We brought in Edin Hadzic, who is a Belgian youth player. He came in on loan from Sedan, who are an amateur Belgian team. Again, if you think of like what we like, Metzala-wise, he's quite tall, he's fast, he's good on the ball. And he just absolutely has room to develop. The lad is 16 years of age. I couldn't turn him down. He was really, really cheap. I think it was 14k in total. 14k in from it's a French team, not a Belgian team. But yeah, I actually do quite like him. He has gone on loan to Atletico's like B team, C team, whatever they are. Just for the season, they've got better facilities than us, so I thought, well, I'm going to get him out there, see if he can play a little bit. But really good vision, good anticipation. He's definitely got room to grow. The personality we can train out of him. He is only 16, so he will be coming in next season when he's a little bit older. I'll probably put him in around the first team just so I can mentor him. And then we also brought in Aziz Yakubu from Rio Ave, the Ghanaian / Portuguese. The fact he's Portuguese means he's EU, and he didn't add to one of the foreign player slots. Very, very good player as a forward. He's quite tall at 6'2". You think, there's 3 attributes we like looking at: is jump and reach, anticipation, and acceleration. 6'2", 14 jump and reach, 16 acceleration, 13 anticipation. Very good finisher. Not very technical, but it's really annoying that they've got him as placing shots. It's really annoying because I'd rather he powered the shots in, so I'm going to try and train that out of him. His first touch isn't amazing, but that's fine. As long as the ball gets played through to him, he's got the pace, he's got the anticipation to get there, really. Work rate is okay, but he has predominantly been playing off the left due to a few injuries or just sort of null performances, basically. But the idea was that he will come in and he will push Camelo for the starting spot. Obviously, that's why we let Baldini go. We brought in Yakubu before Baldini went out. And then that allows Ivan Ramos to be the third choice, really. We do also still have the option of Takuma Asano playing there. Hugo Uranga can play up front as well, which I didn't even realise until now. Could definitely play there. We do still have options. Ivan Ramos still is just getting better and better and better. He actually got some under-19s caps for Spain in the summer, which was fantastic. I do really like him. They think he's a 2-star rating for the senior team now, which is very, very good. Because I'm so unimpressed with Camelo's form at the moment, and I have been telling him and warning him, I think it's about time he got dropped, and it might be Ramos coming in from the start. And then just looking at the youth players and players who could potentially come in and around the first team, there's a lot of 5-star potentials there. Obviously, we do have some very, very good staff members who, obviously, Darren Wassell is 16 and 17. So the fact he's saying 5-star, 4.5-star, these are probably 3.5 to 4-star players in the long run, which is very, very good. Mario More is obviously one of the main ones, but we do have a few players. I'm really excited about Mustafa Gueye. I think long run, he will probably be our goalkeeper. Give him a couple of years and then we'll bring him into the fold. Joseba Alberdi's already with the first team, left back cover. Again, another one who he hasn't featured for us yet, but attribute wise, he's there or thereabouts. He's in his 10s. He's only 16. He's actually wanted by Atletico. So the fact that it's quite a good academy are wanting these players, I'm quite happy with. But we sorted by current ability and what the coaches think. There's actually a fair few in and around the team there who could make a difference. Miguel Jimenez has been brought up to the first team to cover this ball-winning midfielder role just due to the injuries we've got. So I'm thinking this for the Sevilla game. a couple of rotations. As I say, I've not been happy recently with Reece Oxford, so Harwood Bellis is there to come in. We do also still have John Pacheco on the bench, who he's okay. He was never going to be world beater, but I do really like him. The fact his jumping reach is only 9 and his strength's only 9 is a bit of a hindrance. Could very easily play as a fullback. I think he could also probably play in the holding role, so I might try and train him into that. But yeah, Van Hekke keeps his place. Cardenas, I'm not going to judge him on performances because he's not been protected in the slightest. But we do have Joe Hart there if need be. Estevez, I'm quite happy with Estevez. Not amazing, but he's only young. Obviously, we're hoping to have Jota back then. Damari Gray's performed quite well, and I'm thinking of starting Aziz Yakubu. Just on Pacheco, I've just sort of highlighted if he were to be playing as a ball-winning midfielder on defend. The fact he can pass as well is obviously helpful. He stays back at all times, so he will offer that cover in front of the back four. I think we do it. I think we do it. He's obviously not going to improve his strength and his stamina all that much. We could potentially put him on get him in the gym, put him on a strength training course. And it'll improve his jumping reach. We might do that. He is only 23, so there is room for him to improve. I think we're going to trial that out. I might make him available for the... I can't make him available for the B team. That's well annoying. I was going to put him in the B team so we can train it there. Could potentially make him available for the under-19s just so he gets that exposure there and he plays there more often than not, but it would jeopardise some of the young players. And then... I'm going to take that as maybe a blessing in disguise because Sergio Camelo has pulled his hamstring in training and is out for 3 to 4 weeks. So Aziz Yakubu and Ivan Ramos are our only 2 fit strikers at the minute. So we're going to have to go with what we looked at earlier anyway. So interestingly, we did note that Hugo Uranga could play up front, could cover up front. He ended up playing up front for the under-19s in this match. So I just want to have a little look at the goal and just see how he performed. I also want to take another look at Moray. Calvo, I am training to be a right back, but if he can play that right wing role, there's probably something in it. I'm hoping. I'm praying. Let's just drop the speed down a little bit. So Moray picks it up. Lovely ball over the top to Hugo Uranga, who I did mention... outside the foot finish. I did mention he had a massive chance against Real Madrid, and it's a chance that I know for a fact Jota would have scored. So, the fact he's got on the score sheet here, it's encouraging. It's encouraging. Bartolome, I like him. Uranga missed the header there, but Calvo at the back post. Uranga looks like he can get himself in decent positions, and that is something you can't really teach. And then just interestingly, I've just had the notification through that Edin Hadzic had actually scored a goal for Atletico's reserves. It looks like they actually are playing him as an inside forward, which is the role they reckon he's more natural at. It's interesting because I did think he was more like a playmaker type or more like a Mezzala, like getting into the box like Jota does. But it's this. These are the type of things we need to look at now, is because financially we aren't that good. We need to be a bit more shrewd, and if we can get some youth players in and train them up and develop them up, if we can sell them with a sell-on clause, that's better than losing them on a free, which tends to happen, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would do it as well. It's just you just lose the players on free transfers. So yeah, it makes more sense. But if he's better out on the left, then we'll start using him out on the left. Just also had the notification through that Michael Fulracinho played a full 90 minutes for Nigeria against Mauritius. Just looking at what he was playing as, they played him as a Roman playmaker, which is not something I had him pegged down for. But thinking about it, might actually work. So it's saying the Roman playmaker is the heartbeat, driving forward the ball to spearhead attacks as well as tracking back to cover defensively. We know he can do that because he can tackle. He's always offering a passing option to his teammates. He must have the physical attributes to maintain the high intensity as well as the technical attributes to stamp his authority. He'll pick it up deep, work the ball forward while keeping up with play. He will also often camp on the edge of the box, which is good because he's got good long shots to try and find room of a shot or a killer ball. He's got decent vision and decent passing, so that is okay. That might be something to utilise in this match against Sevilla. The Sevilla scouting report is suggesting they will sit deep with defensive midfielders and wing backs. Yeah, I think we try that. So oddly enough, I think for the very first time ever on all the FMs I've played, my assistant manager has agreed with my team selection. I've never seen that before. Just a quick update when it comes to recruitment and analysis. I did mention we wanted Manuel Pellegrini to do some sort of analytical stuff. Purely for the fact that although his analysing data isn't amazing, his tactical knowledge is very, very good. It made sense. He is looking at a few things for us at the moment. Again, hopefully in the future we can bring him in as a coach. Maybe, I don't know. But we'll look. Oh, for fuck's sake, what's up with him? He just looks better every time I look at him. 1 to 3 days, he'll be fine. So we are here on match day. We're about to get into the game against Sevilla. But once again, just a quick update. Hugo Uranga played up front again for the under-19s and he scored another goal. This is quite interesting because I do really see him long-term as a mezzala or an attacking midfielder, depending on how we play. But I'm really tempted, because he is playing that role, to start trading him as an advanced forward for this season and just see how he gets on. So we're going to change the tactic up a little bit, and we're doing the mid block rather than the low block, and we are actually going to go a bit more direct and pass into the space a bit more. We do have, De Frutos is a quick player. You've seen him in the past. 16 and 15. Damari Gray is obviously very, very fast at 16 and 16. We do also have Aziz Yakubu, who is on 16 16. We did say we were going to change Phil Rossino up. We will try him on the Roman playmaker role, just see how he gets on. The player instructions for that: take more risk and roam from position. We will change him back to a centre midfield on attack if need be. John Pacheco did pick up an injury, so we are just going to drop. Actually, no, we're going to put Quintana in there because he's fitter. We're going to put Quintana in there instead of Jimenez. Calvo's looking a bit tired as well, but we'll make do with what we've got. So here we go then. A team in dreadful form. Dreadful. The match is underway. We just need to be better. So we're on the ball early. Damari Gray has decided to pass the ball to Rafamir. Delaney got into our shape quite well there, actually. Forced them backwards. Carmona to Ocampos. Now Delaney slips it through, and a really early chance, and it's well saved by Cardenas. That's something I might need to watch. We are playing, because the line is a little bit higher, it means the defensive line will step up ever so slightly. So if there's another highlighter than getting in behind, I might drop us down to a low block and just see how we get on with that. But a long ball early for Aziz, who's nowhere near that. So they come forward again. Aziz is battling. Go on, lad. Keep going. Keep going. Full of legs, that lad. Full of beans. Yeah, look, there's the ball over the top again. Yeah. So we've dropped the line to a low block. I'll give it another sort of 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. And then if that's not working, we'll change the defensive line to step up more, and hopefully we can catch them offside. But Oscar and Ocampos were causing us all sorts of problems in the early stages there. We haven't had a single shot as well, which is not great. Now with the Sevilla corner, it's Acuna to deliver. Marking is awful. We've got another corner to Sevilla, which is going to be whipped in again. Headed away by Damari Gray. Cleared by the Frutos. Go on! Oh, why are you fucking idiot? Oh, he was one-on-one with the defender and he volleyed it back to the keeper. Oh, mate. Keep it alive. Oh, fuck off. Looks like we might have something going here. Full Rossino looking for Jota. Nowhere near. Estevez. Full Rossino as towed it over the bar. Van Hecker away. Jota needs to win that, but doesn't. The medical team think he's only got about 45 minutes in him, Jota. Oh, that's unlucky. Come on, Aziz. Oh, press him. It's like he gets into like the press, but then doesn't trigger it. So I've just changed him up to a pressing forward on attack. Because yeah, he really should through the defender there. They're getting so many corners. And a free header again for Marcao. They're marking up. I don't know if it's just because we've lost a little bit of height in the defence with Reece Oxford not being in. Harbour Bellis is a little bit small for my liking. I don't know whether it's that or whether they're just switching off, but defensively we've not been good at all. So we are going to make 3 subs at the break. We are bringing on Oxford, Trilly and Ramos. Trilly looked motivated, Oxford is looking composed, and Ramos is looking focused, whereas Bellis is frustrated, Aziz Yakubu is anxious, and Goncalo Estevez is nervous. I can't really afford that. We need to just go out and get at them second half. Right, Cardenas intercepts a loose ball. So we'll see how we get on here as he lumps it long, and Forestino has found Amari Gray. Back to Jean-Paul Van Heck. Durham. Jota. Ivan Ramos. And he is either footed, Ivan Ramos. I do like that. He does at times like flip it onto his left foot. So yeah, I do like the idea of Ramos. He does come in a little bit deeper as well. So he's not always just trying to get in behind. He can link up the play a bit more. So 2 more subs are on. We've brought on Galindo and Uranga for Jota and Amari Gray. We're just not really making anything, so I'm gonna push our offensive line up again. And hopefully that just means we can get at them a little bit more. I don't want to high press because I feel like they'll tear us to shreds if we do that. But if we do a bit of a mid block, we should be okay. You ever have like those old games of FM where it's just like it doesn't really matter what you do, it's going to be an opposition highlight? That is one of them. It's a dreadful goal to concede. I honestly thought Nzanzi was offside, but it looks like he just stayed on. It just got the other side of Uranga, and it's Sevilla 2, Rayo Vallecano 0. I think that's pretty much game over, you know, boys. Deep free kick now for Sevilla, which is headed away. And again, there's no urgency to get there. They're just letting Rosas shoot from distance. So the Frutos has 1-1 back though. Here's Uranga. Spins backwards and finds Reece Oxford. Uranga, Oxford, Van Hecker. And Durham. Lovely ball to the Frutos. Ball across the box for Galindo, who is tall, but his header goes over the bar. Dreadful again, to be honest, hasn't it? Not for the first time this season. No bite, no fight, no passion. Absolutely nothing from them. Didn't look like creating anything, which is a real shame because, as you saw last season, and what is Cardenas doing? Some big problems. It's going to be 4 defeats from 4. I'm going to leave it at that. To be honest, I'll leave you with this dreadful highlight because Reece Oxford gets nowhere near his man. He's nowhere near Ocampos. He just leaves him. I'm putting that down to the pair of them, but Reece Oxford should be stopping that ball. Just dreadful. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. This is probably the end of game highlight. Thank you all for the continued support on the channel. Thank you once again for watching. Yeah, I'll see you all next time. Thank you.